Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about Family Tree by Jeff Lemire, a 12-issue series published by Image Comics. And the way I have it collected is kind of all over the place. I have the first 8 issues collected in trade paperbacks, and starting with issue 9 I have them in floppies. I was a little late to the party with this series, but finally caved in because there was a lot of hype surrounding it. When it came out, it was around the time that Something is Killing the Children was coming out, and a lot of places online touted it as, oh, you like that horror series? Check out this one. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what they were on about. This is not Something is Killing the Children, and this is not horror, but we'll get to that later. First off, as always, I'm gonna go through the covers of each issue that I have and show them off. So here we have issue number 9. Issue number 10 here. And again, this series written by Jeff Lemire with art by Phil Hester. And finally, issue 12. Of course, Jeff Lemire and Phil Hester weren't the only people working on this series, but the other ones do not matter. You see, looking at the covers here, we can clearly see Jeff Lemire, Phil Hester, Eric Gapster, and Ryan Cody, right? Well, then we get the trades, and they're clearly touting best-selling, award-winning writer Jeff Lemire and superstar artist Phil Hester come together for Family Tree. No mention of anyone else, and you look inside. I mean, what did these other guys do, and you look inside the book and you see written by Jeff Lemire, art by Phil Hester, Eric Gapster, Ryan Cody, just art by, and it's like Jeff Lemire does the art for a lot of his series. You'd think it was more important to credit specifically what they did. I mean, if we have superstar artist Phil Hester, what did these other guys do? Did they do the colors? Did they help with the art? We don't know. It's never mentioned. And that's that. And of course you might think that it's no big deal and I'm harping on this needlessly, but actually I think it just shows a lack of focus and plain sense from Jeff Lemire, and that's kind of what this series is all about. First of all, I did not enjoy it. So let's get this out of the way. This is gonna be just me complaining about this series, and it doesn't actually bode well because my previous video was just me complaining about Jeff Lemire, and it's a shame because he definitely can write a good series, but as it was with Sweet Tooth The Return, and as we see here, he can also fail miserably, and again, this is a huge failure on his part. And I think the first reason for that is that the series was described as a horror series at first. Again, it came out around the same time as Something is Killing the Children, and I think people wanted to mesh them up together, pair them, and go like, hey, you like Boom Studios work, check out what Image is doing. But this isn't horror. There is no horror element in this whole story. uh, the premise is that this 8-year-old girl is turning into a tree, and her mom, brother, and will soon find her grandpa try to help her. But that might be a great premise for a horror story, but we're not getting that. What we are getting is a group of characters that are just horrible. The characters just suck. Uh, the brother's kind of a douchebag without any reason. The mother just yells like all the time. She's hysterical and never resolves anything like at all. She's absolutely useless. And the girl is just there to turn into a tree, and that's it. Uh, we do get to see a lot of the grandfather because he's actually showing us what this series is. And Family Tree is actually an action series. We get so much action out of this, and the grandfather, the old man, kills so many people and dies so many times. Spoiler, but okay, so get to this. The first arc is just showing us the grandfather killing a bunch of people in the present, but also in the past, because plot twist, a few years prior to the events of the series, the father of the 8-year-old girl who is turning into a tree also turned into a tree, and there's a weird group of military guys that hunt down these tree people and try to kill them. The thing is, every time they kill one, another person starts turning into a tree. So they killed her father, and now she turns into a tree. And again, so we see the grandfather here, a few years prior, killing a bunch of people. Then we get to the present and see the grandfather here, again, killing a bunch of people. And I'm not gonna show it, but volume 2 is also the grandfather killing a bunch of people. And sure, the girl turns into a tree, but that's way in the background, and ultimately almost doesn't matter, because again, we only get to see the grandfather for 90% of the time killing a bunch of people. And we actually eventually move on past that, because the girl does turn into a tree completely, and this turns up to be the perfect premise actually for a time skip, and we get to see the world 5 years into the future. And even then, there's another guy, not the grandfather, but another guy killing a bunch of people. And that's the whole series. And it's so stupid because the girl turning into a tree makes her spread a lot of seeds airborne that make everyone that inhales them actually turn into a tree themselves. So the whole population of the country is just trees. It's basically an apocalypse. There are very few survivors, And of course, Jeff Lemire could have taken the story in a lot of interesting places with that premise. I mean, come on paper, it sounds great, but he doesn't do anything with it. It's just either this old guy or a younger guy just killing other people. And of course, the mother just yelling nonsense. Again, she's such a bad character. Oh my god, she's so useless and so annoying. And actually, at least she has those traits, because the rest of the characters are just again the same complaint I had with Jeff Lemire's Sweet Tooth. The Return is back here. His characters are just there to be characters, to have someone move the plot along, but no, huge disappointment. Another one by Jeff Lemire, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't wanna call him a hack, but here's a hot take. Jeff Lemire is kind of a hack, actually. And of course, he has so many amazing works, but that's kind of it. He has so many works that he either starts eventually, you can't. He was complaining at one in an interview. I noticed he was going, oh, people say I have 7 or 8 series going along at once every time, but that's not true. I actually have 5 or 6 series, or 4 and 5 series, and it's still, even 4 or 5 series, dude, that's way too much. Of course, the quality is gonna drop. You can't make them all great. And I don't know why he tries it. He should definitely limit himself, because as it stands, I feel like way too few successes of Jeff Lemire are supposed to carry way too many failures. Even his, let's take Gideon Falls, which of course it's great, but honestly, eventually even that kind of lost me. Again, it was taking too. I mean, it wasn't taking too long, but he was making it too long, and alongside a lot of other series, I don't think he actually could keep up the same quality. And I really think it's a shame, because the man obviously can write a great series, but he shoots himself in the foot putting out so much stuff. The quality is obviously gonna drop eventually, and we see it. We see a bunch of series coming from Jeff Lemire that just can't hold up. The art is great though. I don't want to complain non-stop in this video, so I am gonna say this. The art is really cool. Uh, Phil Hester, of course, did a great job, and the colors match it up perfectly. No complaints there. I really couldn't. Again, really great stuff regarding the art of the series. But other than that, I honestly cannot recommend this. Again, a huge disappointment, a huge lie, considering it was touted as a horror series. It's not. It's a very, very bad action series. Um, I don't know. I hope Jeff Lemire changes his way of working on comics. Although, come on, it's not gonna happen. But I do think it has caught up to him, and we are seeing it with series like this one, like Sweet Tooth: The Return. The quality just isn't there, and it really is a shame because Jeff Lemire is definitely better than this. And that was it for my review slash rant of Jeff Lemire's Family Tree. If you wanna see me ranting more against Jeff Lemire, check out my previous video where I complain about his Sweet Tooth: The Return series. Of course, that was not a non-stop rant because I also talk about Lock and Key in Pale Battalions Go by Joe Hill, and I actually love that series. I have a lot of other reviews of indie comics. If you're interested in those, check them out. Especially the works of Mirka Andolfo. I talked about her Unsacred series and Mercy. And of course, please check out my review of The Devil's Red Bride, one of the best series I've read. Okay, that was it for my video. I'll see you all next time. Bye.